There's been a lot of speculation about the role AI is playing in the softening labor market.
Yes, and now we have a better picture of which jobs are being impacted and which are relatively safe, at least for now. Fox's Evan Brown has more.
The latest jobs report shows a weakening labor market, in part due to the rise of AI, and the Society for Human Resource Management says it means even more workers could be at risk in the coming years.
This really has been a shift in the last 2 to 3 years with the emergence of all of that generative AI technology.
And of course, artificial intelligence is the big driver of a lot of those losses. 15% of jobs in the U.S. are at least 50% automated at this point, and another 8% use generative AI to complete half their tasks.
With any kind of small tweak in technological change, there are jobs that could easily be displaced.
The jobs most likely to be lost include service roles and blue-collar labor, but it's not just about the technology. A number of non-technical barriers are also playing a part, which is why you likely won't see robot doctors or nurses anytime soon.
If I break my leg and I go to the ER, I'd like for a human to explain to me what is happening. You have to be certified. You have to have a license.
But the group says a lot of those losses can be mitigated by addressing the skills gap, and they've created the Center for a Skills-Free Future, focusing on teaching folks to work with AI so they don't get replaced by it.
Those skills can be the building blocks for what you can offer in a particular job. That's really what matters.
The report shows that right now about 9 million American jobs, that's about 6% of the workforce, is at risk for displacement. In Miami, Evan Brown, Fox 2 News.
Well, trending today, a heartwarming moment happening during homecoming at a high school in Georgia.
The school's quarterback going out of his way to make it an extraordinary night for the team's #1 fan. Quarterback Trey Smith was announced as homecoming king, but instead of soaking in that moment, he rushed over to fellow senior Jake Jeffries, who has Down syndrome, and presented him with his crown. The whole stadium erupted into cheers when Smith recognized him as the true homecoming king. Good future ahead of us with kids like that, yeah? Young people. Are you afraid of the dark? Be honest, because it's not just kids worried about monsters under their bed.
According to a new study, nearly 3 in 10 American adults are just too scared to sleep in the dark. In a study by Talker Research, 29% of American adults admitted they are too afraid to sleep in the dark. And believe it or not, the men were more likely to be afraid of the dark than the women, 33% compared to 26%. In fact, 24% admit to sleeping with a nightlight, and 10% prefer to sleep with the lights on. You gotta see where you're going if you get up.
Yeah, you gotta just have muscle memory. I like pitch black.
I like dark, very dark.
I don't. I like a little light from the outside. All right, babies are not crazy about being spooked on Halloween. Of course not. I mean, come on.
Last week, a mom in Tennessee was out shopping with her baby boy at a Dollar General when she decided to put on a ghost face mask to see how he would react. Not cool.
Great job, Mom.
Yeah, great Mom of the Year. The poor kid let out a scream you usually hear in a horror film. There it is. Of course, she posted it on social media, and it quickly went viral. Mom says she didn't expect it to be a big deal, and she got a lot of hate comments. She says her son is just fine and not suffering from any trauma.
Not yet.
Right, yeah.
I mean, we can't sleep in the dark. We'll know why.
This is why. And look, it's a boy, the poor kid.
Exactly.
That's 5 years of psychotherapy right
That's
there.
right. Very expensive.
Let me talk about, it's a quiet night out there right now. Still mostly clear. We'll get down to 44, and then look at this warm-up for Saturday, especially rain likely Saturday night and Sunday. A full check at 10.
All right, thanks, Rich, and thanks so much for joining us. TMZ is next.
We'll see you back here at 10, The Edge at 11, and The Pulse at 11:30.
Good night.
Is it time? Is it
It's
time?
time.
Is it time?
Woody, get ready.
Oh, yeah!
Woody, get ready.
Sports Office on a Thursday night.
Thursday.
Night. Remember, the Lions play Monday. I do not know what day it is. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Thank you. We got a lot going on tonight. Caputo's going to join us. We look forward to having Pat in here.
Pat!
You guys are going to join us as well because if you hit the Zoom
Yeah.
QR
Zoom
code
room.
right
Zoom
there,
room.
you can join the
Zoom
show.
room. Zoom
You pop
room.
over here into the
Zoom
Zoom room.
Zoom room.
That's where Tommy
not
is
moving.
keeping track
Matt's
of
not
things
moving.
over here.
Matt's
Yeah,
not
he's
moving.
over there.
Just
Yeah, right.
work
Yeah,
with
I
me
know.
here, Matt. We're
Yeah.
working on it.
It's all right, buddy.
Then we'll pop you on. So just if you're watching, join us. Hey, Capoots, what's going on, man?
The legend from Groves.
So we were just kicking around first cars before we started the show here. Capoots, first car, what was it?
Model T.
My first car was a 1970 Plymouth Duster. My dad bought at graduation from a used lot. He promised me a car, and he got one that was like 7, 8 years old, and he paid $400 for it, but said, "Don't worry, I'll fix anything." Ended up costing him another $2,500 or so. Then I crashed it. He had to take it to the junkyard. And then I got a 1970, big, Catalina. They got 6 miles an hour premium gas.
Oh, yeah.
my God.
We used to call my buddy
It
had
a
one of
hole in the
those.
muffler, and it made a big noise. So
We used to have one of those, and my buddy did. We'd call it the couch because it
Yeah.
was like the back seat
Exactly.
was like 12 feet wide.
It was like 12 feet wide and 17 feet long.
Yeah, no,
Why?
it was-
Crazy
yeah.
Why did they make a car
Crazy
like
live
that?
back there. My first car was a 1976 Ford Granada, and I was telling Capoots that it only had AM radio. So I got, and if you remember this at home, I got an FM converter, which
what?
was this little thing that you would screw in under the dash, and it was an FM dial. And if you went to a certain frequency on AM, the FM, you'd push a button and the FM would kick in, and then you had FM radio. That's how it worked, Pat.
I remember those, and I described it perfectly for you. But I'll tell you this: I got an idea. We have the Dream Cruise, and you never see any of these fine cars in the Dream Cruise. They're all from the '60s, and people love them. You never see those classics from the '70s like the AMC Pacer, the Metro.
Yes.
Those in the '80s and the '90s that would get you 50,000 miles and fall. So I got an idea for the Nightmare Cruise. We just got to figure out a street.
The
You know, what's the
Nightmare
worst-
Cruise. Oh, I love that idea.
We had
One with the biggest potholes on it, not like Woodward or Gratiot, like where they have these cruises on iconic roads. We just got to think of one.
So-
that is like the worst.
We got to go.
road
We
in
got to go over
Detroit.
the east side, maybe French Street on the east side.
French
Pat.
Street,
We'll have
Nightmare
to go
Cruise.
there.
I got an idea, Mound Road.
so
Don't you worry about what I know about French Street.
my mom in 1971, I would say 71, 72, bought this is true, a lime green Pinto with a black top. Lime green with a black top.
Did it-
We can hold off on the band for a minute.
Like
And
8
I
minutes
always
too
wanted
early.
to ask, like Bill Ford Jr. when I saw him, like, can you look back in the records and see if that was a mistake? And we bought that mistake.
No. That was a standard color.
Oh
Yeah,
my God!
lime
It
green.
was the ugliest thing. And then my brother-in-law drove it off a mountain, and then it wasn't there anymore.
Is he okay?
Yeah. Woody, first car.
Toyota Corolla SR5, 1984. It was black with gray two-tone.
A Miami
and it
car.
was beautiful.
Nice.
I burned the motor out.
No, in the 70s, I had a buddy that had a Datsun B210.
Yeah, a B210.
Yeah, I was
yes.
with him when he drove
yes.
it into the back of another car.
Y'all just making
Nice.
shit
Yeah,
up now.
Nice.
I don't think the car survived that. But first car stories. Capoots, we got a lot to talk about. Let me come to you with this. We got college football coming up this week. There's now some rumblings about Jonathan Smith. Where do you think this is going at Michigan State? Anywhere good?
Oh, Dan, they're not rumbling. They're like a earthquake.
They sound like Woody's car when he burnt out the engine.
Exactly.
Or after, Woody's stomach after he eats some of those fine meals before sports works. that he fouls down and gets in diva mode.
Don't make the noise.
Yeah, it was grumbling like that. Yeah.
It comes down over the air. But in reality, Jonathan Smith is done. He's
Toast?
done.
Yeah.
It's over, man. And I hate to say that, Dan. I don't like to fire the coach, thing narrative right away. I mean, I never liked that.
Right.
I always tell people though that coaches, general managers, whatever, they don't get fired. It just happens, and everybody knows it. And it happened when they lost that game to UCLA. And then you look at their upcoming schedule. Indiana is not, Kurt Cernetti is not a nice man when it comes down to being sympathetic to the opposition.
No, sir.
Just ask Illinois.
Not with his $93 million contract.
Right. So he is, and $30 million. Jonathan Smith was not hired by the AD. He was very aggressive and was brought in as an outsider, and the university president, who was hired under great notoriety. So there's nobody there to save, and he doesn't really have the charisma to turn it around. And the players he brought from Oregon State weren't really good.
So that's what I wanted to get to next, and you just hit on it, Pat. There's no fire with this guy.
Right.
There's no fire. There's nothing to get you excited. When Mark D'Antonio was there, man, that everybody rallied around that guy. You could feel the passion that he had. With Smith, it's just, man, it's like he's there. And look, if you win, you overcome that. But when you don't win and you're not getting people excited about the program, you're in trouble. Big trouble.
I have a name.
Go.
Robert Saleh.
Okay. You know what? I would like that because that's a guy who knows the area, and I think that's one thing that Michigan State really has to play into a little bit more.
Yeah.
Getting guys from this area and, throughout the Big Ten where they go. But now the Big Ten stretches through the whole country. But still, guys from this area, I think that'd be a great hire, Pat. Robert Saleh would be great.
It's
at
an
He started his career there at State. He's been in the pro game, but his pro career is kind of, where it's at. He had that recent incident with Jacksonville. Cost Michigan State a lot of money. There is a risk factor there, but he has the charismatic nature, the coaching chops, and he's the guy that would, I think, get the proper attention because you've got all these jobs that are going to be open or already open, and you're not necessarily going to get the hot candidate to come to Michigan State when it's in such disarray. You got to think a little bit outside the box. And Saleh, to me, I've always thought that he was terrific. I know it didn't go well for him with the Jets and all that, but there's a local guy who understands what Michigan State is, and he would be a really, I think he would recruit very well, in the transfer portal and with high school kids.
I agree with that, Pat, because I could easily see Robert Saleh being invited into homes and talking to families and, trying to get kids like that. He's got he knows the area. He's got the know-how to do that. And that'd be huge.
It's an interesting name.
I would love that.
Yeah, that's an interesting name because you're going to need somebody that can rally the fan base. And here's the thing. In this day and age, Pat, you don't have long to build a program. And you're really not even building a program. Tom Izzo used to talk about the difference between building a program and building a team. Well, you know what? Now you are in the business of building a team because year to year, you just don't have the carryover with these guys anymore because of the portal and NIL. So you got to have somebody that can do it fast.
And how many guys are you losing right now because of the portal? They see the writing on the wall.
And when I saw them as 17.5-point underdogs to USC, I'm like, man, you in year two of a program, you can't afford to be a 17.5-point underdog. Not in this day and age.
That's right.
Yeah, I agree with all that. Jonathan Smith was hired by a different. I liked Alan Haller too. I thought he did a good job with what he had to work with, and in the way Michigan State's been such a mess. I mean, it's unbelievable how a mess it's been administratively and just in every way. Really, but the thing is, you have to get a coach that can spark it up. You got to have a coach who's got some energy. Yeah. You got to get a coach who is got the football chops, has connections, knows the landscape, and you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to buy him out. That $31 million. I think it's, I don't know, 500. It's like a Bobby Bonilla type of deal for Jonathan Smith forever. 62 months, actually. It's one of those things where, and then you've got to dig into your pockets. And Michigan State, they're big time, and they've got to get their football program right. They really do.
Hey, Caputs, let's swing the wheel of topics here. Let me hit you on the Wings, because I know you're on a lot after Wings games, and you hear from fans and how they feel about what's going on. How big would it be if they actually got off to a good start and didn't get to December or January and have to claw from behind and get hot just to be in the race? I mean, a fast start would mean a lot to this program.
Well, I'm going to step out on the creaky branch here, and I can feel it creaking below me. People waiting for me to fall into the forest here and disappear, but I think they're going to make the playoffs this year. I think they're a better team than what people are giving them credit for, and I think McClellan is a better coach than what people realize. He's a perfect coach for them at this time. We know the Red Wings have some flaws, and they still do on the back end of their defense. We talked about that the last time I was on this extravaganza. And, I got to tell you.
Good name.
Yeah, good name.
I don't know how they didn't think of that before.
But anyway, people forget how good Dylan Larkin is and Lucas Raymond. Those are genuine world-class players. They're going to be playing for their respective countries, two of the hockey powers, in the Olympic Games and taking regular shifts. Alex DeBrincat's a premier, close to a premier goal scorer and a really good player, plays hard. And Moritz Seider has never missed a game. And he does all these different things in the ice. And Edmondson is on the verge of becoming a beast. He's starting to throw guys around. He's very skilled for his size. And he and Raymond are about as good as anybody in their age group in the entire world at their positions. And Casper's pretty good. And they brought up these kids, which was smart because the play that they got from the $5 million or $3 million free agents, these kids aren't going to be any worse than that. Actually, they've been better. Talking about Brandon Nygaard and
Pellica.
And Finney. And they got 6 first-round picks on the team. And Gibson will play reasonably well in goal eventually, I feel. So, and the Eastern Conference isn't nearly as daunting. Pittsburgh, Washington probably is going to take a little bit of a dive. Boston probably. You look around, Montreal's better and Ottawa better, but really there is a playoff spot or two there for a team that's in the mid-90s, that type of thing. And they did play at that level last year when McClellan became their coach.
One thing that's really impressed me, Pat, is the power play. The power play has looked really good over the last 3 nights. And then yesterday, Florida hadn't given up a power play goal in this very short season. And you see it working better with Kane and Larkin. And, they have something with Appleton, clearly. And this power play just looks a lot better already than last year.
Yeah, well, their power play last year was actually pretty good. It was a penalty kill that killed them. Because they do have those skilled guys that you mentioned there. Appleton's played well for them, and look, he's a third or fourth line player, but he did play on the second line for quite a while with some really good players in Winnipeg. And when you put a player up on a higher line, sometimes you'll get a lot more production out of him, and you can't be fooled by that, like the Red Wings did when they put Abdelkader on the same line with Datsuk, and all of a sudden he scored 20 goals. You got to be careful with that, but at least they're getting something out of him and Van Riemsdyk. The guys that they signed in the past immediately didn't play well, and they never played well.
Yeah. Pat, you mentioned Van Riemsdyk right there, and obviously he's on that fourth line. How will he help the young guys, whoever he's paired with? Because that guy is like a professor back there, isn't he?
Well, I don't know if he's a professor, Woody, and that's pretty funny. That just said that, actually.
As far as teaching goes.
Look, Woody, I don't know. You know me, right? I don't believe in any of that type of thing. I really don't. If you think he's so good, make him a coach. If they drop some veteran guy in the room and he taught everybody to do anything, it sounds great, but in reality, this is professional sports, and I think he can help with some tips or whatever, but he's only going to be as effective in any kind of way as long as he plays well as a player.
Hey,
Otherwise, make him a coach.
I got 2 things for you, and then we got to cruise. We appreciate your time. You're great as always. One, Canner has asked that you please keep the caps out of your mouth.
There we go.
And number 2, I'm just going to get the answer from you. What today? October
16th.
16th. Yes, sir. Is Tarek Skubal the opening day pitcher for the Tigers next year?
Yes.
Okay, that's easy. Good stuff. We'll dive into that at a later date.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Capoots. Go ahead. Complete
No, I don't have anything to say other than it's great to be with you guys. And, I got to tell you, man, I like Woody with the hoodie.
Thanks for being part of the
Patty with the hoodie.
Love you, man. Love you, Pat.
The ticket joining us right there. Still to come, we'll get your Zoom calls. If you're in the room, turn your camera on. We'll get to you in a minute. Deep Thoughts with Z. House band's going to take us to break right now, so let's go. We've got a lot more coming up on the show tonight. Glad you're with us. Coming in 3, 2, there it is. Rocking. Deep Thoughts with Z coming up in just a bit. Your Zoom calls. The sports office. Glad you're here. All right, who we got? Benjamin, you are first up tonight on the sports office. What's going on, man?
Hey guys, I'm back.
Good to see you. How are you?
I am doing good. Actually, I came in here quickly because I got to get on a plane and I'm going to Sydney, Australia in a little bit. So,
what are you doing there?
School. I'm going to be going to school there.
Good for you, man. That's exciting. What are you studying?
I am studying for a nursing degree.
Is that a tree branch in front of my man right there? Or what's going on there? Are you in the woods?
No, I'm not in the woods. I'm in my front yard.
Blink twice if you're okay.
Yeah, just make sure that's not like barbed wire and you're not like calling us collect from prison.
No, I'm not. No,
all right.
Is he in Jackson?
Hey,
Ben is okay.
Clear. What's on your mind tonight, man?
So I have a couple things.
Go.
One about the whole Brian Branch suspension. What is your guys' opinion on that? I know I
can't do what he did.
It had to happen.
I love BB, but you can't do what he did. You can't do that on national television with the NFL trying to, put the shield out there. It's never going to be a good thing. But that way it happened, when it happened, the stage on which it happened, you just can't do it. He's got to control those emotions.
And he's already got a rep.
Exactly.
Like, he's done this for a couple seasons now.
He's a repeat offender is the problem. It's like
Exactly.
13, 14 fines.
I didn't see the play, so I was doing something else, but I heard that, the day after, I heard that he got suspended.
Yeah.
And then I saw yesterday that he tried to appeal it. And I'm like, 99% of the time when you appeal something that big, it's not going to happen. You are very lucky it's going to be appealed if you're lucky.
Yeah, I didn't see any shot at the appeal being successful.
Yeah, I didn't see
didn't
any
either.
reason for that. But
no.
Just take your punishment and move on, because obviously it's something that they can't have in the league, and we can't have on the Lions. Honestly, Dan Campbell was embarrassed by it.
Yeah,
so it's not
Dan
something
was
you
hot
want
after the game. And look, again, I had somebody say something to me about Brian Branch's character and how he fits in with the Lions. I said, this isn't character. Brian Branch is a good. You all right, bro?
Yeah, it's the only way I can stay in the shot. Because he keeps moving around. But anyway.
Hey, man, safe travels. We wish you the best. Thank you for calling in.
Travel safe to
We're
Sydney.
all for education.
I can say one thing.
Go ahead.
At least he's thankful that he only got 1 game suspension and not
I am thankful.
Yes, we agree on that.
But do it again, and it's going to be multiple games. We got to make sure he keeps his head. Hey, look, we have people call us from the UK, so you got to hit us up from Sydney,
exactly.
All right?
I will.
Appreciate you. Good luck.
Save the Zoom number and that QR code. Thank you.
Ben.
We are pro-education here on the Sports Office.
Love it.
We are
Love
very
it.
much
It doesn't show it,
pro-education.
but we are.
Yeah.
I got him with that.
It's a loose thing.
I got him.
It's a loose qualifier.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
me and education didn't get along so well sometimes.
George Mason, right?
Yeah, and I actually got a degree, which I had to go pick it up, and I literally walked out of the building. I'm like, seriously?
You know what, Dan? I'm having trouble with what Pat said before he left us about Scooble starting next year as a Tiger. I don't know if he will. I don't know if he will.
All right.
I think that Scott Harris will have to say, "Hey, look, I can't pay this guy all this for what I'm getting."
Maybe there'll be something in deep thoughts about
He may get a big haul. Who knows?
We got months to talk about.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Because it's bothering him.
Oh, it is.
House band to break. Deep thoughts with Z when we come back.
Woo!
It's time for Deep Thoughts with Z.
Dig this.
My man.
So dig this. This one is
Lights, please. Excuse me. Lights.
Camera,
Thank you very much.
Action. These are 5 things.
Go.
5 different thoughts. But these things are 5 things that we should all quit doing, and we probably all do. Trying to please everyone is number 1.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
I can do that.
You become people's prisoner when you try to do that. Fearing change, which is inevitable.
Can't
Scare
feel it.
money, don't make money.
There you go. See?
My man.
Now this is the one. Living in the past, because there is no past. There's just now, right?
Can't do anything about it.
There's no future. Yeah, it's not here
You can
yet.
worry about
The
it all you
future is
want. It's
now.
not going
There you
anywhere.
go. 4th one, putting yourself down. Now this is interesting because people's self-talk, I don't think people really recognize as being important, right? What you say to yourself.
Or about yourself.
Well, yeah, and we call that thinking, but realize that when you do that, you are a captive audience. So you have to actually yourself monitor what it is that you are going on in your mind.
Be nice to yourself.
Oh, there you go. And the last one, overthinking.
Oh, yeah.
Overthinking.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
And we don't realize we're doing it while we do it.